Hello and welcome back to the channel. This video is done a little bit different than my normal videos, and that is it's out of sequence, but I wanted to show me going to Willoughby Acres first, and then we went through the process of how to identify male and female rabbits. And then about 2 videos ago, I said I would go through how I select what animals gets processed here on our farm. The third part of the video, I went through and processed what I thought was multiple rabbits, but ended up being that the battery died. So at least we got to see one, and I didn't go into great details. There's some very good videos out there already. So let's go ahead and get started on our trip to Willoughby Acres. All right, we're heading down to Willoughby Acres in Murfreesboro in just a few minutes. Willoughby Acres has been raising rabbits for a long time. She was happy for me to record. When I was first in contact with her, when we decided and picked a date that I would come and pick up the rabbits, I asked her if she could do it on camera for my small little YouTube channel. She was happy to do it, and she is wonderful, both her and her husband. But she did have one request, and that was not to show either of their faces on camera. So it made it for a little bit of a close-up where I would have rather be expanded out a little bit, but we want to honor their request and not show their faces on there. So I'm getting ready to head down to Willoughby Acres, and we're going to pick up a trio of silver fox rabbits. We are on a road trip to Willoughby Acres in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I decided to take the back way, and I'm glad I did, because this is a beautiful drive. We're entering Cannon County there. It's a little over an hour drive, and along the way, really get to see some big, nice farms on these rolling hills that Tennessee has to offer. The contact information for Willoughby Acres will be in the description. So if you're interested in some quality silver fox rabbits, be sure to check them out. I wanted to add a quick reference here when trying to figure out if your rabbits are male or females. Here's a quick reference you can look back on that might help with determining the gender.
It's called Tacos and Burritos. So girls have tacos. Yeah, you're going to want to get close up. Now, it is not unheard of. In fact, it's fairly common to missex girls at this age.
Oh, is that right?
I've had other breeders do it to me. I bought a doe. I looked at it and said it was a doe. They looked at it and said it was a doe. 3 weeks later, it turns into a buck. It's actually a running joke in rabbits. It's called the sex change fairy around.
Oh, is that right?
You know, if that were to happen, a lot of breeders, you're stuck because they don't guarantee sex.
Okay.
If for some reason she turned into a buck, you know, as she matured, now she's old enough that I'm confident that's not going to happen. But if it did, keep in touch, let me know, and I can either replace her with another buck or you bring her back and I refund your money, whatever. We'll get you taken care of. You're not going to get stuck with
at how old does it, like not guarantee, but how old does...
Is it real obvious?
Yeah.
Well, you'll see with the buck that's her age, you'll see how obvious it is.
Okay, and how old is she?
They'll be 11 weeks old on Friday.
Okay,
So just shy of 3 months old.
She's real calm.
I love that.
So you like her?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
Are you a fan of rabbits, or are you just along for the ride?
I've become a fan.
Okay,
He was along for the ride at first. So this color is called lilac. What it is it's a chocolate rabbit that has a dilute gene, so it washes out the chocolate and makes it this pale silver.
Oh wow, that is really nice.
And you'll see your other doe is blue, which is a dark gray. So you can see his silvering's coming in. Baby, you want to get your flashlight since his camera's engaged? This is what I love. They're so calm, even when they're...
Yeah. Well, I told you that doe that I had. I just called her yesterday. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's turn around and do that. And we'll show you his tattoo. Ends in L.
Yep.
Hey, where you going? Show off your ear.
Nice and clean.
Now this is what a boy looks like.
Put your eye out.
See the difference?
Yep.
So he's got a little protrusion. We call those burritos.
Okay.
You're okay with him? Did you want to look at
Yeah, I really like him.
Okay. Now, I will warn you, when we do the tattoo, it's very similar to... Have you seen little girls get their ears pierced at Claire's? It's going to be effectively the same procedure. She may make no noise. She may squeal like a pig. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. So
actually, I was a little bit of a rebel after I got out of the military, and I got my ear pierced.
Oh, okay. So you know exactly what it feels like. Did you scream?
No, but I waited to cry till I got home.
So you can see she's still got baby fur. So this'll, she'll get this downy fuzzy stuff will fall out, and she'll get her adult coat in the next few weeks.
And how old is she?
She will be 8 weeks old tomorrow.
Okay.
So she's just 8 weeks old.
And what's the youngest you breed these?
I breed, they need to be, for me, and everybody's a little different. My protocol is the doe needs to be at least 5 months old and at least 8 pounds in weight.
Okay.
So they need to be both. So what typically happens for me is effectively, I usually end up breeding them the first time somewhere around 6 months. That's me. Some people wait till they're 8 months old. Some people wait till they're 9 pounds. That's what works for me. Everybody's got their own.
So these are
protocols.
big rabbits.
They're not huge. They're not like a Flemish giant.
Right.
But your does should be around 10, 12 pounds. Your bucks should be around 9 to 11 pounds.
Okay.
You know, and I'm working on increasing my size every generation. But what I've been mostly focused on this last year is temperaments and mothering skills.
Okay.
So we're going to look at her ear. Now this ear has dark green Sharpie in it because that's how I mark them to identify the individuals before they're tattooed.
Oh, I see.
So once I wean them, everybody gets a Sharpie, a different color mark in their ear. So that'll just wear out. And then we're going to put her tattoo in this ear.
Is it generally on the left side or does it matter?
Your breeder tattoo always goes in the left ear because if you ever wanted to register the rabbit or you sold a rabbit to somebody who may want to register it, the registry will put a tattoo in the right ear.
Oh, I see.
So the registry number for the ARBA would go in that.
Okay.
Okay, sex her real quick.
Looks like the taco.
Yep.
Okay, we are getting ready to tattoo this rabbit. Laurel said she would have them all tattooed and ready to go, but I asked her to hold off and allow me to film the tattooing process, which she was happy to do. And as a reminder, they did not want their face showed on camera. And here she's just taking some rubbing alcohol and sterilizing the ear.
I use the clamp style, so you can see I've already got my letters loaded here, the pins. And this, I bought this on Amazon. You know, you can buy these clamp kits just about anywhere that sells animal supplies. So this is how I do it. I take an old toothbrush that is clean. It's dedicated just for tattooing. And the first thing I do after I've swabbed the ear with alcohol is I apply some ink to clamp. And again, this is not a whole lot different from a young lady getting her ear pierced at the jewelry store. You let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Not bad.
Nope. And then I'm going to take my tub of ink and get a nice blop of ink on my thumb. And we got a little bit of blood because I did pierce her ear completely, and that's okay. That actually helps the ink settle in well. So I do try to avoid the main veins in the ear. And I'm just putting enough pressure that, like if I were trying to squeeze a grape, I'm putting enough pressure to massage this ink into the little puncture holes so that when it heals, you'll have a dot matrix tattoo that'll reflect the letters.
And how long does that ink last? Would it last their lifetime, I suppose?
It lasts the whole life, provided you get it in really good. That's why I really take the time to rub it in good. When I first started doing this, tattooing rabbits 20 years ago, I was a little hesitant to press too hard.
Yeah.
And I would end up having to redo them a few months later because the ink didn't get down in the punctures. And that's it. So then I just take a paper towel. You have ink on the back of her ear and a little bit of blood. We're gonna just blot the back of the ear, and you can see she's not fighting. She's
pretty chill.
So you're gonna okay with everybody?
Yeah,
okay.
everybody looks good.
She's not even mad at us, are you? Yeah.
And how many rabbits do you keep here?
Right now I've got well, I like bucks, so I tend to keep more.
Do you really?
I have 3 bucks right now. 2 of them are black. No, all 3 are black. They all 3 carry chocolate and dilute, and one also carries tortoises.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
And then does I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 does right now.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
It's not enough. It's never enough.
Never enough.
It's like chicken mass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a little bit of flack on that last video because I said I was going to process these. One thing when you breed animals, I don't care if it's ducks or chickens or rabbits or cows or goats or sheep. Like the goal is always to improve the breed. You know, it's kind of sad, but culling animals is sometimes what you have to do. Like this one, it's not that I'm scared of her. It's that I'm tired of getting bit and scratched. She's just turned into a nasty little doe, and she doesn't breed anymore. on one of my previous videos, I didn't realize it, but I had blood dripping down the side of my face, and a couple of people asked what happened. Well, right there is what happened. I tried breeding this buck and doe one last time, and I went in to grab her, and I had to stick my head in here because she was all the way back, and just in a blink of an eye, she come up and bit me right in the side of the face. That blood was from that. You know, there comes a time when an animal no longer serves its purpose, and something has to be done with it. You can't let it sit out here and die of old age when you're feeding it all the time. You're not getting anything in return. Plus, imagine if a kid come over. I have 7 children, so imagine if one of my kids, they're a little bit older now, so I wouldn't worry about it. But if a little 4 or 5-year-old came and said, oh, I want to pet the rabbit, opens this, reaches her hand in there, and she bites the little girl's hand, that'd be a mess. And these are her kit. They're 8 months old, and they're just as wild and crazy as she is. Plus, they're not even full grown yet at 8, 9 months old. So the reason I'm going to process all of these is I'm going to get some silver fox rabbits. I'm getting a trio. And you know, I talked a little bit about how mean the doe is, but her little kits aren't much better. They have a little bit of an attitude, but that buck right there, honestly, I might shed a tear when I do him. It's going to be tough. It's tough to even catch these two. Okay, there's a couple of different humane ways to do this. A lot of people use that, what's it called? Hopper popper. And some people use a broomstick. Any of those are fine, like whatever way you're comfortable doing it. Because the one thing you want to do is do it humanely. Not only do you want it humanely just for the suffering of the animal, it also helps the meat taste better. I'm going to go ahead and get this one done. If you don't want to see it, step away. As much as possible, I like them calm, but these guys are wild. I don't want that adrenaline in them when we go to dispatch them. So it's worth it just to take a couple of minutes and calm them down, make sure they're doing okay. If you haven't done it with a piece of wood or a pipe or whatever, it doesn't take a real hard blow, but you also want it to be purposeful. You want to knock the rabbit unconscious. That's the goal. I always like to get them hung and get their neck cut as quick as possible so they bleed out. You see my high dollar gimbal there? Make it decisive. You don't want to be timid and just hurt them and then them flopping all over the place. And they will sometimes have some muscle reactions, and that's to be expected. But I usually take just... And now you see why we wear the gloves. Now we got to start all over. Oh, she was all calm and then got worked up. So I like to hit mine right in the back of the head there. Now when I do the doe, I'm not doing all this. She's going straight to dog food, so I don't care about any of that. And I don't want to be cut up and bit and scratched. So she's been gone. So I like to give them a quick little spray down. That just helps with a little bit of the hair. There's as many ways to skin animals as there are people that's doing it. So the main thing is try not to tear the meat. It just doesn't look as good. Some people do the tails different ways. Just as you skin a couple of them, you'll get your process down. And if you have dogs, give them the ear. There you go, Beans. So this rabbit, the skin, it's a little bit older, but it still pulls off nice. When I do that doe, it'll be a little bit tougher. But these aren't as easy as like 12, 13-week-old rabbits. The skin's a little bit tighter on them. Trying to be careful not to break that nail off. I don't ever save the hide. There's never really a market for it, as far as I know. These joints aren't like doing a chicken. So anytime right here, you can go ahead and lop off the head. You know, you do a chicken and you can get that leg bone right at the joint or right at the knee or whatever. You can feel it slice right through there. I've never been able to do that with rabbits. So they do have a socket like that, but there's pretty much common sense to be careful slicing down here. I withheld their food. Surprised there's that much in there. Right there's the bladder. You want to be careful with that. That's what you want out. I don't know if it makes a difference, but you see how I got that rabbit blocked from what happened? I don't know. I wouldn't want to see my siblings get processed. All right, we're going to go through these next ones a little quicker.